Thank you for attending the 2021 Black Femme Supremacy Film Festival. My name is Hannah. I am the moderator for the Omi is First Medicine short film block. I'm tapping in today from the Bay Area, California, original lands of the Ohlone people. And I would also like to just lift up that today we celebrate the anniversary of Katrina. And so being mindful of that and all of that trauma that has come from that. So in the spirit of water and what it brings and what it takes, let's go ahead and bring on our film directors, filmmakers, so that they can introduce yourselves and we can jump into this conversation.
Thanks, everyone. My name is Sharayna Christmas, and I am the director and creator of Back to Where We Were in the Presence of Our Ancestors, and I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Hi, my name is Lisandro Suriel. I'm the creator of Ghost Island, and I'm calling in from St. Martin in the Caribbean.
Hi, I'm Vilma Martins. I'm calling from Salvador, Bahia, from Brazil, and my film is Five Ribbons.
Olá, eu sou Everlane Moraes, falo de Cachoeira, na Bahia, Brasil, e eu sou diretora do filme Pattaki.
Hi, my name is Everlane Moraes. I'm from Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. I'm calling from Cachoeira, and my film is Pattaki. Hi, my name is Camila Hepling. I'm from Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. I'm calling from White Plains, Maryland, and I'm translating for the director Everlane Moraes.
Cool, and we have one more filmmaker, Amberly Ellis, who is actually calling in from Cuba today, so she may be in and out. She is the director of The Wisdom of Osain, so hopefully she will pop back in and we can be in conversation with her as well. But first, I would just like to thank you all for being here and just your beautiful work in the world and offerings. It was really a privilege to watch your films and to be in this conversation with you all. So I'm going to start off with a question, and then just kind of pop it, whoever feels moved to answer first, or if you don't want to answer that one, that's fine as well. Let me give a space for translation.
So, Everlane, she's going to start with some questions. Ela vai começar com algumas perguntas. Se você tiver, se você quiser responder primeiro, é só responder, não tem problema. E se não quiser responder também, não tem problema. Mas não tem uma ordem não, tá? Se você quiser ir primeiro, você pode ir.
Ah, tá.
Cool. So our block is Omi is the first medicine, right? So in the spirit of medicine, something that's used to heal and cure, it's passed down from our ancestors, right? From generation to generation. What is the medicine or the healing that your film is offering to generations to come after us?
So, Everlane, a primeira pergunta é sobre medicina, algo usado para curar ou a cura transmitida pelos ancestrais, pessoas da medicina de uma geração para a seguinte. Qual o remédio ou a cura que seu filme está oferecendo às gerações que virão depois de nós? E se alguma medicina passada para você, se foi passada para você, quais foram? Qual foram essas medicinas?
É para que eu comece?
Não importa, se você quiser ir primeiro, pode ir primeiro.
Já estou, vamos lá. Enfim, eu realmente creio que os nossos ancestrais deixaram muitas pistas, muitas possibilidades de caminho a seguir.
So I believe that our ancestors left so many paths, so many ways to follow.
De alguma maneira, a gente está seguindo, porque a gente está resistindo, sobrevivendo, mesmo diante de tanta violência.
In some ways, we are following, we are what they left to us, because there's so many violence.
O que eu acho que a gente tem que aproveitar enquanto seres diaspóricos negros são as oportunidades que a gente tem, que já foram traçadas pelos ancestrais.
What we have to follow is, can you repeat that? Você pode repetir, por favor, Iyalene?
Sim, o que eu acho que a gente tem que aproveitar enquanto seres afrodiaspóricos é aproveitar as oportunidades que foram deixadas pelos nossos ancestrais.
what we have to take advantage is the good stuff that our ancestors left to us, all the possibilities, all the good stuff.
Saber utilizar com a mesma inteligência.
Know how to use with intelligence.
Porque o projeto colonial, dentro do projeto colonial, está justamente o processo de segregação e desassociação com essa ancestralidade.
Você pode repetir?
Dentro do processo de colonização, do projeto colonial, pode falar.
Inside the colonial process, the project.
Intencionalmente está uma possibilidade de nós nos desconectarmos desses caminhos traçados.
We have a possibility to disconnect from this path that were traced for us. So we have a possibility to disconnect from them.
Então, eu acho que nesse processo de se conectar com essa ancestralidade,
in this process to connect with this ancestrality,
a gente precisa ressignificar as imagens, os símbolos, os signos, a linguagem.
We have a necessity to
imagens, símbolos, signos.
To understand this symbols, this process, this all the process inside it.
Revisitar o nosso passado histórico.
Revisit our past, history past.
Ressignificar esse passado histórico no presente.
Resignified all the past and then all the symbols.
O que a gente poderia chamar de decolonizar as telas, as imagens.
Discolonize this screens, this image.
Para projetar no futuro um mundo afrofuturista.
To project in the future a world afrofuturistic.
Que seja possível para nós vivermos.
That is possible for us to live.
Respirarmos, principalmente.
And breathe, and especially breathe.
Lugar onde possamos exercer nosso direito à subjetividade.
A place where we can exercise our subjectivity.
E lugar onde possamos politicamente, né, brigar para podermos fazer o que queremos.
And a place we can politically fight for our rights.
E contar a história que queremos.
And tell the story that we wanted.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ache.
I just want to share that I believe that, in terms of what is the medicine, for me, I was in a place of trying to really fervently listen to my ancestors. And I want to pause for the translator as well, so she can translate. But I was really in a place of trying to listen to my ancestors. So I was called in my film Back to Where We Were to investigate the bodies of African people, particularly here in the States. And so my film takes place in the Gullah Geechee Islands, in St. Helena and Folly Island. And prior to that, I had did a ritual. Literally, it was something that came to me, and I did a ritual. And so that film came from that. And so if I was to think about the medicine specifically for us and for me, is what I'm asking people to do is always to think about the imaginative space in history. The imaginative space in history, given, we can read books and we can look at films and we can study, so on and so forth. But to imagine that you can, with the power within you, conjure the spirit that's within you, because my film also has dance, because I'm a dancer as well, and I'm a mover. And so that movement that comes from that allows us the space to heal. It really allows us the space to heal. But the imaginative space is really, really important for our healing, and not saying that we're imagining things that haven't happened, but a lot of the things that our ancestors and the spirit guides are giving us are things that we actually can see. And so people often think about imagination as a place of like non-productivity and so on and so forth, but really it's a space of healing is a space to grow and to swell. And so my space, the film, that is the space where I was, is that I was allowing myself the space to discover where people, African bodies that were brought to the States in that particular time, and I was paying homage to the Igbo people that returned to the water, were really taking ownership of what it means to be, in the presence of our ancestors, and using the water not just as an element, but as an actual being that was washing up and that was allowing, was welcoming us in that space, without fear. So, that's really important. The young people that I work with, myself, my son, I really try to focus on that, on listening to my ancestors, and also imagining, and also being able to see what they're saying to me.
Wow. Thank you. I have so much to respond, but I'm gonna, Camila, are you okay with that? Do you, to translate it?
So I'm going to translate just Everlane, what Everlane says, and the question is directed to her.
So are you okay to translate what was just shared so that Everlane can understand?
No, that's what I'm saying. Everlane doesn't need that, so she's okay with this. Just I'm translating what she says, and the question is directed to her.
Okay, great. Cool. Well, thank you. I agree. I'm very much in the imaginative space, and I appreciate you for lifting that up and having that be the medicine that's passed down. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, may I jump in? Yeah. Well, I very much agree with what everyone is saying. With medicine, it seems like we all have this kind of red line with what we call the imagination, or with spirituality, or this disembodied source of knowledge or identity. And I think when I look at myself and my own artistic process, and in the making of this film, for me, it is also a source of healing, that imagination or that space outside of the body, or outside myself, in the present space and time, in which I can delve into some kind of continuum of ancestral knowledge or spiritual knowledge, and kind of channel that through an artistic practice, or through the lens, as it were. And I think that then, in that respect, healing comes from the power of, or to suddenly have the power to tell your own narrative, or to know of your own history, to not have to rely on outside sources of knowledge. Anybody here in this space can be a source of knowledge about ancestrality, or about Black Atlantic identity. So you don't need to go to any particular university or white institution. You can just kind of look within yourself, and look or analyze how you imagine yourself. And there's a lot to be said about that. And I think for me, that is a very healing aspect of the project, to reclaim that narrative.
It's my time. I was. For me, it's a little bit hard because my English is not very good. So I write down my answers. But now, listening to you guys, I sort of want to just talk. But if I say something wrong, just correct me. But yeah, it's like this. The thing is, our film, because I'm a collective, I'm a group. I did this film with my colleague, Heraldo de Deus.
Your partner?
Yeah, my partner. Yes, perfect. Who could not be here today, but we work together like a collective, and we wanted to talk about exactly about this, and how art can cure, can heal. We have now in Brazil a government that don't care about entertainment, about art, about culture, and especially they don't care about they don't care about Black people, about women, about women. Sorry, about women, about poor people. They don't care about anything that heals, that's good for us, And we are living in a pandemic era, who people are getting more and more sick. People are dying. grandparents are dying, are leaving, and it's very sad because and people are getting sick of the head, depression and all this kind of stuff. And it's very difficult to live like this. And when you have like culture, you have sports, you have culture, you have things to do. This heals, it's make you don't be sick, don't go crazy, don't fall apart. And when we decide to do Five Bones, we were thinking about it. It was before pandemic. We were already thinking about it. The importance of family, the importance of faith, of spirituality, about religions. We we wanted to talk about exactly about this, and people are more and more a part of spirituality. Even me, I spend a lot of time working a lot, only thinking about work, and you don't stop caring about yourself, about your body, about your mind. And last year when Five Bones was released the first time, and even now being here, it's crazy to think that how much we earn, how much joy it gives. And because the film is about it, it's about finding happy in your family, the importance of your family, about faith, about religions of all kinds. Is not only for Catholicism, but especially here in Salvador, we have a mix of religions and respect about all this kind. We need to have, and the importance of this figure who is a grandmother. For me, it's very special to talk about it because I came back to live with my mother and my grandmother, and it's crazy because I learned a lot. I'm learning a lot, and I never thought I would be so happy, because in the beginning it was very hard, difference of way of living, and we forgot the importance of the ancestors, of the 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 figure that that of the grandmother. And I think it's about it. And there's time that I stay with my grandmother, just listen about anything she wants to say, about everything she wants past me. And this is crazy because I know she's fragile and she's maybe not be here in a few times, I don't know, but I'm trying to get everything that I can from her, and that's the message about Five Bones, is that the importance of family, of your grandmothers, of your grandfathers, of your ancestors, of your family, of your history. And because we are denied this, us as Black people, we are denied this place of having family. We are always talking about hate, racism, and violence, but we have this too. We have spirituality, we have family, we have love, affection. That's the thing I think it's pure. Affection and being here and work and art. I'm sorry, my English is not so good, and I speak very fast, but Camila helps me.
No, that was beautiful. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Our grandmothers, man, they hold the wisdom. So important, right? So important. Yeah, bless you that you're able to be in that space with your grandmother right now and receive that. Yes. Shout out to grandma in the next room. We appreciate you. So you all have kind of spoken to this a little bit. The next question was around like this liminal space, like the kind of in between space, right? Spiritual dimension, ancestor dimension. So you have spoken to this, but if you want to elaborate, like what are your thoughts about the relationship between the spiritual realm, right, and the physical realm where we are right now having this conversation, and how you conceptualized presenting this through your work, or kind of like what was your process for trying to present, or not trying to, I mean, you all did very much, like present this space in your work.
So, Everlane, a próxima pergunta sobre espírito. o espaço liminar, dimensão espiritual, dimensão ancestral. Quais são seus pensamentos sobre a relação entre o reino espiritual e o reino físico? E como você conceitou isso apresentando através do seu trabalho, da sua arte?
Eu acho que a própria arte já é um conceito e uma dimensão espiritual.
I think that the all art is already a concept of spiritual realm.
Eu acho que é a única coisa que nos diferencia enquanto seres humanos dos outros seres, mas não no sentido de inferior ou superior.
I think it's the only thing that distinguish us from one another, not like superior or inferior.
Porém, uma capacidade humana que a gente tem,
but the human capacity that we have,
de pensar o mundo, nomear o mundo, pensar a si mesmo,
of think about the world and about ourselves.
E, infelizmente, mesmo essa humanidade que é tão bela,
and unfortunately, even this humanity that's also so beautiful,
às vezes a gente não sabe o que fazer com isso.
Sometimes we don't know what to do with it.
E ao mesmo tempo que a gente é muito espiritual e belo,
at the same time that we are beautiful and spiritual,
a gente pode ser muito mal e danoso para o mundo.
We can be also bad and really damage the world.
Mas por isso que eu acho que a arte já tem uma dimensão em si espiritual.
That's why I think the art has itself a spiritual realm.
Porque a única maneira de a gente sair dessa realidade tão dura e acessar outras realidades.
It's the only way we can leave this hard reality and access the spiritual reality.
E o bonito é justamente isso.
And that's what is beautiful.
E se? A gente sempre inventa, e se fosse dessa maneira?
We always think, and if it was this way.
A arte, ela instaura possibilidades.
The art gives us this possibility.
Isso já é uma cura por si só.
This is already a healing, a cure.
A relação que eu tenho enquanto a minha espiritualidade, meu trabalho artístico,
the relation I have with my spiritual and my art,
é que eu sou uma mulher praticante da religião do candomblé no Brasil.
Is that I am a woman that frequents the candomblé in Brazil,
que é uma semente de África.
That is a African seed.
Que é muito parecido com a santeria em Cuba.
That is very similar to religion in Cuba.
E outros lugares também onde há negros.
And other places where there are black people.
E então eu sou filha de Iemanjá.
I am daughter of Iemanjá, the goddess of the sea.
Que é a mãe de todos os peixes.
That is the mother of all fishes.
Que é a mãe de todas as cabeças.
Mother of all heads.
E que para a gente o mar é um símbolo de alta resistência.
For us, the sea is a symbol of resistance.
Que fez com que nossos corpos navegassem pelos oceanos.
They made our bodies navigate through the oceans.
Em uma migração forçada.
In a forced migration.
Isso é muito triste.
This is very sad.
Mas ao mesmo tempo encontramos em outros lugares.
But at the same time we found in other places.
Possibilidades de viver.
Possibilities to thrive, to live.
E se tratando de uma cultura negra, de um povo negro.
And talking about black people, black culture.
Essa sobrevivência veio através da arte, porque nossa cultura é muito artística.
We survive through art because our culture is very artistic.
Porque dançamos e cantamos quando somos tristes.
Because we dance and we sing even when we're sad.
Celebramos inclusive a morte.
We celebrate even death.
Da mesma maneira que celebramos a vida.
The same way we celebrate life.
Porque na nossa cultura a dualidade é muito importante.
Because our cultural duality is very important.
Ela é diferente de uma cultura branca que tenta higienizar tudo.
It's different from a white culture that tried to hygienize everything.
No filme Pattaki,
In Pattaki,
que é um filme do qual eu me graduei na escola de Cuba, de cinema de
there is
Cuba.
a film that was my graduation project in the Cuba's film school.
Era um momento que eu me despedia de Cuba, voltava para o Brasil.
It was a moment where I was say goodbye to Cuba and come back to Brazil.
Um momento que eu me despedia de Iemanjá em Cuba.
A moment that I was saying goodbye to Iemanjá in Cuba.
Que em uma ilha, quer dizer, um pedaço de terra cheio de água, arrodeado de águas.
In an island, a piece of land surrounded by water.
E Iemanjá é absoluta.
And Iemanjá is absolute.
Nenhum sistema político ou homem pode com Iemanjá, num contexto de ilha.
Non-government or politics can deal with Iemanjá.
E a natureza sempre pede o que é dela de volta.
And the nature always asks what is her, its back.
E eu fiz uma homenagem a Iemanjá, a minha Iemanjá.
I pay homage to Iemanjá.
E eu imaginei um mundo mitológico contemporâneo.
And I imagine a world, mythological world and contemporary.
Em que os seres humanos são peixes fora da água.
And where the human beings are fish out of the water.
E eles estão sufocados dentro dos seus aquários.
And they are suffocated inside the aquariums.
E esse aquário é a própria cidade.
And this aquarium is their own city.
Porém, todas as noites,
but every night,
noites de lua cheia,
full moon nights,
a lua levanta a maré.
The moon creates waves.
E Iemanjá sai do fundo do mar.
Iemanjá comes from the bottom of the sea.
E tenta hipnotizar os peixes.
And try to hypnotize the fish, her kids.
Para que voltem para o mar.
To come back to the sea.
Para o seu seio de mãe.
To her maternal being.
Que se liberte da prisão da cidade.
To be free from the prison that is the city.
E que ganhe a imensidão do mar.
And gain the sea.
Mas os peixes são muito medrosos.
But the fishes are very scared.
E estão adaptados a essa realidade. Então,
and used to this reality.
E Iemanjá é muito vingativa.
And Iemanjá is very revengeful.
Ela ensina castigando.
She teaches also punishing.
Então, horas ela retira água, horas ela coloca água.
Sometimes she takes the water out and sometimes she put the water back.
Ora, ela... Então, isso tudo para fazer com que os peixes compreendam.
All this to make the fish to comprehend.
O quanto que é importante a sua própria essência de peixe.
How much is important his own essence of fish.
Então, esse filme é uma crítica profunda aos sistemas sociais.
This film is a critic to the social system.
Contraditórios que nos separam da nossa essência.
Who contradicts us and takes us far away from our essence.
E que nos aprisionam em aquários.
And imprison us in aquariums.
Todo esse filme foi feito com procedimentos do candomblé.
This film was made with the process of candomblé.
A cor, o ritmo, os ângulos, o trabalho com as pessoas.
The column, the rhythm, the angles, the work with the people.
Todos foram baseados nos itãs, ou nos patakis, nos mitos de Iemanjá.
Everything was based on the myths of Iemanjá.
Adaptados a essa realidade cubana.
Adapted to the reality, the Cuban reality.
Então, a dimensão é isso, é a capacidade que eu tenho.
The dimensions is the capacity that I can and I have
espiritualmente de me conectar
of spiritually connect
com a minha existência e com o contexto do qual estou inserida.
with my reality and the context that I'm inserted.
Porque realizar arte sempre é um contexto político e espiritual, sempre.
Because make art is always a contest of political and
Espiritual.
can you and
Espiritual e
spiritual,
político.
spiritual and political.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like absorbing, processing. Yes. Lisandro?
Yeah, but I think what Everlane said very much speaks to actually the title of this discussion, no? Because if I'm not mistaken, Omi means water, no? Omi is the first medicine. Hello? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Did you hear what I said by any chance? Yeah. Yeah, and I think that because for me that spiritual medicine that I think the world is in dire lack of, and that is starting to resurface, is that feminine healing energy. And I think that is very important, and that is in the water, that is in the moon. It's a punishing energy, but it's also a nurturing energy, and it helps us to bridge change. So I think also coming from a Caribbean island, we're surrounded by the ocean, Yemanjan, the ocean, the water, Olokun. All of these energies are quite healing, and you're always drawn to the ocean, as if you're in a trance. Like you can't explain it, but you're always drawn to the water, and
So,
that, yeah.
No, I was just making a real fast translation to Everlane. So Everlane, what he was ele estava falando que tudo que você falou tem relação com o tema da discussão, né? Que Iemanjá, que a água, que ele também vindo de uma ilha, tem toda a relação de cura, toda a relação dessa energia feminina curando as pessoas. Tudo que você falou tem tudo a ver com a discussão de hoje.
Yeah. And you can't see it in my film, but in my artistic process in general, I try to get very much in tune with spirits, or with the spirits that I feel surround me. And I am convinced to this day that I have a group of ancestral mothers that are trying to guide me. So I have a very strong reverence for feminine energy that I identify with, because I really feel like it is that feminine that is guiding me through my creative process, and they're trying to teach me things and trying to get me to understand things in a way that I can depict them. So for me, that watery, feminine, dark, all those elements are very integral to my work, not only to that, but to who I am and how I'm thinking. And that is a journey that started through this project, Ghost Island. So for me, that process of making arts has been very important to get in touch with that feminine side of me, and also that healing side at the same time.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I'm so glad that the feminine, the divine feminine, has entered this conversation like very clearly.
It's been here.
Yes.
It's been
Yes.
here.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to
I was just going to say, Lisandro, that was really beautiful. Also, I love St. Martin.
Yeah.
I also love right here, so I wish I was there with all of you. So now I was just going to say that, what everyone is sharing about our relationship to water is super, super connected to how we live every day. And one of the things that I know about and I've learned about water is that it holds a lot of emotion and memory. And one elder that I study, Dr. Maureen Baani, she has a book called Let the Circle Be Unbroken. And she talks about the spirit, like the spiritual world, really not even being binary in any way, but more specifically centered around how, making sure that we don't lose, especially us being Africans living in, I would say, the United States of America. There's been a lot of detachment um, that I think Everlane was talking about earlier, but specifically the detachment from our culture, which Dr. Maureen Baani believes, and I believe that culture is our immunity. And so the idea that, um, water is just there, just to kind of, you vacation on and all of these kind of neo-colonialist ways to think about it is very opposite of what we know to be as African people. So for water for us is not just soothing. Like, I mean, it's confrontational. It helps us through the elements. It helps us through, the seasons. It's poetic in many ways. It moves. There's so much that we can learn, from water. And I just wanted to kind of share that because for me, it always is a grounding space, but it's also a confrontational space as well. And so, I really appreciate Lisandro just talking about that, the guides and the spiritual guides and the belief of that, because especially in terms of the spiritual mother, for myself being a mom, I'm reading right now Octavia Butler's Adulthood Rites. And in that particular book, she talks about the memory of the womb. And it's, back to the imaginative space. Do we ever think about our time in the womb and surrounded in this water that our mothers, have had us in? And I think about my own experience, carrying my son, having a home birth and experiencing that, and then looking at this being who was teaching me so many things. So, like I said, just the idea of water being transformational and also spiritual. I don't believe that there is a separation of those things. I feel like, I'm sitting here speaking with you all, but I am still connected very much to spirit. And I am in that space of spirit as I'm speaking to you all. And my work is centered around that. It's never centered around any kind of gaze for anyone. It's really about, what messages I'm getting from my ancestors and what I'm supposed to be doing in divine spirit at that time. So, I just wanted to kind of speak on that because I see that we all have that connection. So I love the idea of, saying Omi is the first medicine because it truly is. It is the thing that we always go to. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yes, it's not, nada por un caso. Like it's not, we're all here in this conversation for a reason. Right? Our spirits we're all in this together. And so, yeah, I appreciate. Vilma, did you want to add anything to this?
I'm just very emotional too. Like I was seeing Everlane, my hands is sweating a lot. You see the water, the fluid, and it's crazy because when you listen to this to you guys and to people like you who have the same energy, it's like you said, is nada por acaso. And I know Everlane, and I love her work, and because exactly what I think. And listening to Lisandro and sorry if I say your name, Sharayna, I don't know, was very very touching because this is what we are here for. And we are living in a very bad moment. Where people are getting away from from everything, like from spirituality. There is so much hate and capitalism who people wants to pass each other for money, for all kinds of stuff, and getting sick. And we are here now talking about healing and about ancestral spirituality. Is very very I'm very emotional, so for me it's hard to talk sometimes because like I said, my hands is very sweaty. I'm not crying because I cry from my hands. And I just thank you for everything that you guys said. I wish we had all been in Cuba or in Salvador or in where Lisandro is, because I wish we could like hug, and because that's affectional, it's changing, trocas, having this, being
So,
apart.
Everlane, só uma rápida resumo do que ela falou. Ela falou que conhece seu trabalho, conhece você, e está muito feliz com que toda a conversa, com a sua conversa com a Lisandro também, a da Sharayna, não sei se eu falei corretamente. Então, ela está muito feliz e muito emocionada com toda essa conversa, tudo que vocês falaram.
E eu adoro o seu trabalho.
E ela ama e adora seu trabalho. She adores her work, everyone's work. So.
Cool. Well, I'm like, I had questions, written out, but it seems like everything is being answered because it's just the flow, right? The water is like, okay, this is where we're going. This is where we're going. Oh, you wanted to know about this? Okay, then I'm going to bring this in. So we will keep flowing, and I'm just talking to y'all and thinking, I'm curious to know like what you all are curious about. Like what are things that like continuing your work and just this moment. Like what are some things that get you curious that like you want to continue to develop or explore, and whatever, if it's personal. I mean, we know we're whole beings, right? Connected. So the personal, political, spiritual, artistic, but just your curiosities, I guess, what I would like to.
Everlane, a Hannah perguntou sobre o que vocês estão curiosos agora em fazer nos seus trabalhos, quais as suas curiosidades em o que você pretende trabalhar daqui para frente, seja no campo político, espiritual, pessoal.
Eu acredito que pelo cinema ser a sétima arte, tão jovem em relação às outras artes,
I believe the cinema is for being like the seventh wonder, and it's still so young relating to the other arts.
Ela tem muito caminho, muita possibilidade, por mais que a gente tenha a impressão de que não.
There is a bunch of ways, paths, and possibilities, even though we think the cinema has not.
Eu realmente acredito que a disputa é simbólica.
I really believe that the dispute is symbolic.
Assim como a gente está mudando a etnografia, mudando a maneira como a gente fala algumas palavras, outras palavras a gente não fala mais, a gente está mudando a maneira de falar, de se comunicar.
Like we are changing our ways to speak, to communicate.
Dizendo, me chame assim, eu não sou homem, eu sou mulher, eu não sou homem nem mulher, ou o que seja.
Choosing our preference to be called she or her, him, his, using different pronouns.
Assim, também eu acho que o cinema, como escrita visual,
like the cinema is like a visual way to write stories.
Ela precisa mudar a sua linguagem, mudar os seus códigos, a sua escrita.
It needs to change the way to communicate, the way to write stories.
A gente não precisa reproduzir ou escrever com o cinema com os códigos que estão pré-estabelecidos pelo cinema.
We don't need to make movies using the today's language and codes as we were taught.
Porque se a gente pensa que somos corpos diferentes,
because if we think we are different bodies,
e se a gente entende que a câmera é uma extensão do nosso corpo,
and if we understand that the camera is an extension of our bodies,
nosso corpo e nossa câmera vai se mover diferente,
our body and our cameras will move differently,
abrindo outras possibilidades de narração, de perspectivas, de planos, de linguagem.
Open a new perspective and angles and all kind of possibilities to tell stories.
Então, minha luta é uma luta, politicamente é uma luta, diretamente, minha luta é uma luta mais pelo campo da estética.
My fight is against the aesthetic part of films.
Se a gente utiliza as mesmas palavras do colonizador,
if we use the same words as our colonizers,
a gente vai reproduzir as mesmas violências.
We are going to reproduce the same violences.
Eu realmente acredito que o berço da civilização esteja na África, seja africana.
I really believe that the base of everything is in Africa.
Então, não estou preocupado com nenhuma epistemologia branca, nenhum conceito branco.
So I'm not worried about no concept, white concept.
Porque até que se prove o contrário, tudo surgiu de África.
Because until we can prove the contrary, everything came from Africa.
Então, tudo tem um pouquinho dela.
So everything has a little bit of Africa.
Então, eu realmente acredito que, mudando um pouco a linguagem, ou seja, minha disputa é uma disputa simbólica, no sentido de encontrar a maneira de narrar.
So my dispute is like to find a way to narrate.
Que, inclusive, se assemelha muito à maneira de narrar dos nossos ancestrais.
That is very similar to our ancestors.
Porque a gente não tem uma cultura tão direta e objetiva e linear.
Because we don't have, can you repeat that, please? Você pode repetir, por favor?
Não temos uma cultura linear, objetiva.
We don't have a linear culture, objective culture.
Nossa cosmovisão é diferente.
Our vision is different.
Nossa filosofia é diferente.
Our philosophy is different.
Então, a gente anda em círculo, a gente anda em espiral, a gente tem outra corporeidade.
We walk in circles, we walk in all kind of ways.
E a gente é feliz.
And we are happy.
O que diferencia muito dos brancos.
What is very different from white people.
Porque eles nunca estão felizes, eles nunca estão felizes.
Because they never satisfied and never happy.
Eles têm uma crise existencial medíocre.
They have a mediocre existence.
E eles precisam sempre falar do outro, o outro pauta a existência deles.
And they have always to talk about the other because they need to justify their existence.
Então, meu caminho hoje em dia no cinema.
So my path in the cinema today.
São 3 coisas.
Are 3 things.
É a forma, é a estética.
The form, the aesthetic.
Porque a forma já é conteúdo.
Because form is already content.
É a minha ética enquanto cidadã e profissional do cinema.
Is my ethics with as a human being and as a cinema professional.
Que precisa ter responsabilidade social.
That needs to have social responsibility.
E a política.
And political.
Onde a gente utiliza o cinema como arma.
When we use the cinema as a weapon.
E quando eu não tiver minha câmera para usar como arma.
And when I don't have my camera to use as a weapon.
Eu utilizo os meus dentes.
I use my teeth.
E minha garra e meu corpo.
And my hands and my body.
Mas serei livre sempre.
But I will always be free.
Whoa. I have to take my mute off I gotta say that was
Não, really. Próximo ano eu tô aprendendo inglês, mas é porque é muito difícil, e aí quem sabe um dia eu consiga me expressar em inglês.
I'm learning English, and next year I will try to be like speaking English already, but she's studying and she'll speak it.
I mean, she can see my expression, so.
Ela tá falando, você consegue ver a expressão dela, né? Ela tá muito feliz, eles estavam muito arrepiados com o que você falou, muito felizes e contentes.
Well, I think what you said was very beautiful. Thank you, Everlane, for that. It was beautiful, beautiful statement.
Eu acho que o que você falou, Everlane, foi muito bonito e muito obrigada por tudo que você falou.
Yeah, and it makes me think of, especially what you said, not using the verbiage or the words of the colonizer, because otherwise
Especialmente que você
you're,
falou que você não vai usar as palavras dos colonizadores.
yeah, because you said it very beautifully. If you use their words, you use the same violence.
Porque, principalmente o que você falou, se você usa as mesmas palavras, você usa as mesmas violências.
And then I'm connecting it to when Sharayna said she was in St. Martin, and it brought up that tourism aspect again, and it's very much you can see it in that tourist aspect of the Caribbean, where indigenous lands and black peoples are exploited for capitalism and white commercial gain, essentially. And then you have that in places like St. Martin. That is our number one economy, and that is what is promoted more than our own identity, our own history. So our identity and cash crop becomes this kind of violent rhetoric towards ourselves, something that's very exploitative, very masculine. So that's why I think that feminine energy is needed to see Yemanja for who she is, and not exploit the waters, the land, the nature, the people, the culture, the identity, and not be violent towards it. Because saying that we can only offer tourism or capitalism or whatever while negating identity and history, because that's what's happening here. Old monuments have been torn down, nature is being carved out, resorts are being built left and right along the coastlines, and certain plots of land and beaches are becoming less accessible for local people. Our histories are being erased because you only learn European histories. So like all of these things, like we need to, the words we use with ourselves are very important. So thank you for sharing that.
Did you want to translate any of that, Camila? Everlane, entendeu mais ou menos?
Algumas coisas não, mas muitas coisas sim.
Sim.
Ele falou muito da importância do que foi dito, de não usar as palavras dos colonizadores, do quanto tudo está sendo destruído apenas pelo prazer dos colonizadores de ter mais coisas, de conquistar mais coisas, e isso explorando os negros, explorando a natureza, explorando os espaços que nós tínhamos antes de natureza e tudo, para poder ter sempre mais, e estar sempre no topo.
Entendi.
I can say, because I'm not going to say much, because everything that I wanted to say, that I believe already being said. But as Everlane was saying about the way of us being happy, you know, for a long time I used to see myself as a person very sad, as a person who self-sabotage, and fear, and thinking that I need to do more than I do because I didn't believe in myself. Because that's
Everlane, ela estava falando que, principalmente o que você falou, de a gente estar sempre feliz, apesar de tudo, que ela sempre se via como uma pessoa triste, que sempre se auto-sabotava. Continue.
I have a part of my family who is indigenous, natives, I don't know how indigenous, and a part who is black, and they always try to erase and forget, like that where they came from, that they are black, that they are indigenous, and for a long time.
Parte da família dela é parte indígena e parte negra, e eles estavam sempre tentando apagar essa ancestralidade. Pode continuar, Vilma.
Camila, se você quiser, pode deixar ela seguir.
E aí eu falo no final também.
Certo.
And that's the thing, because they are not, they wanted to be another person. They want to be white, they want to be rich, they want to to have success, and that's why they thought if being black was not good. How do you say, like, was not something that you should be proud, you know. So they wanted to be white. They wanted to be more European, more, you know. And for a long time, as I saw that I'll never be white or being like the people who I saw in the TV or who were working with cinema, for example, I thought I could never do cinema, and so, or be happy, you know. I thought I could never be happy because I was not white, I was not rich, I was not American. I'm sorry, but I was a girl, a black girl in Salvador, who didn't know anything about the world and was not rich. So as I learn, I find people like here in Brazil, we say caminhos abertos. I don't know how to translate this. It's like open, open. How do you say caminho?
Paths, way, open paths, open
Yeah, yeah.
ways.
So yeah, when I met you guys, persons like me, I saw that open ways, you know, caminhos abertos, because as I said, I believe that everything need to be collective and that need to be affection, with love, you know. Even if we have to fight, like Everlane said, like if you have to put your things, but at each other, with us, our groups, our peers, we need to have love because we deserve to have love. We deserve to be happy. We are happy, like Everlane said. We are happy, and white people and capitalism want to say to us, no, you cannot be happy. You cannot be a filmmaker. You cannot direct a film with another person. You have to, if you are a filmmaker, you are only you. You know, only Spike Lee. You know, here in Brazil, we had a person, a white person, who said they didn't. He could not put a black woman to direct a movie that was about a woman, a black woman, because we didn't have here Ava DuVernay and Spike Lee, but we have a lot. We have Everlane, you know. Oh, where's these people live, you know? They want, every time they want to cut us off, you know, like, you cannot do it, we are not so good, you cannot be happy. If you see the TV here, only black bodies, only children's going to jail, on our children's, you know, our families going to jail, dying of disease, of hunger,
Hunger.
and yeah, hunger. And if you go in this way, you think that you're living for dying, for statistics, and not to be happy. And when you find the others like yourself, you know that you can be happy. And I was in Cuba too, but not for was very fast. I was only 1 month doing a auto-referential course, and because I was trying to connect myself with my process, you know, because of this out self sabotage and everything. And I learned that my auto-referencial is the same as my partners, is the same as Camila's, who was I also work with, and who did a film about the importance of art, you know, for don't have violence, for to be happy, you know. So is Everlane to when I met, and it is my idol here, like, you know, this is auto-referencial, is everything, is us, is together. And I'm finding my work. I'm trying. I think I'm still it's beginning. It's only uh, 4 years that I'm working with filmmaking, but I want to continue in this way, you know, with affection, with you guys, with persons that have the same background, the same history, the same thoughts, and together, I think we can fight, and we can be happy, and we can save for this person and from the part of my family who still believes that we are in this world to work and to be sad and to not be black, to not be indigenous, to say to these persons that are like, we can, we can be happy, we can work, you can do whatever you want, because I would never in my life thought that I would be speaking English in a in a place like this, with a lot of like I said, I'm very sweating, but my English is, but I'm here, with a movie, with a film. And thank you another time for you guys too. Só para Everlane, eu falei, Ever, que fiquei muito tempo, né, a parte da minha família não acredita, né, não se aceita na feliz, acho que a vida tem que ser só para trabalhar, e para tudo isso que você falou, né, que os brancos botam na nossa cabeça, e quando a gente liga o jornal, a gente só vê o nosso corpo, né, nossas crianças, nosso povo, né, morto, sendo preso, sofrendo, e a gente acha há muito tempo que isso é a nossa realidade. Eu achei isso, que isso era melhor. Eu nunca achei que eu poderia ser cineasta, e aí hoje eu tenho a oportunidade de estar aqui com você, trabalhando com você, inclusive, que você sabe que eu já te falei que você é minha ídola, e é sempre bom estar nesses espaços, porque eu percebo que, por mais que eu tente ser autorreferencial, que eu aprendi em Cuba, inclusive, esse meu autorreferencial é de muitos nós, assim, porque a gente está falando as mesmas coisas, a gente está falando sobre luta, sobre a importância da arte, da gente ser feliz, como você falou, né? Se a gente poder saber que a gente pode fazer o que a gente quiser, né? Eu admiro muito sua determinação por isso, porque você sempre fala isso, né? Que a gente pode, que a gente não tem que baixar a cabeça, não, e tem que fazer. Sorry.
Wow. Yes. Thank you. This has been beautiful and powerful, as I knew it would, even though, nerves get heightened before anything like this, but it's always so great to be in these spaces. And we're at about an hour. I mean, these conversations need to be all day, every day, in all spaces. So like, time is weird, but we do have to bring it in. But before we do close out, was there anything else that anyone just feels they want to share, offer? No, okay.
So Everlane, we're about to close to a gente está perto de fechar, de encerrar a conversa. Eu estou perguntando se você tem alguma coisa a acrescentar, se você quer falar alguma coisa a mais.
Muito rapidamente, eu quero agradecer a todas pela oportunidade de estar compartilhando, né, bem, do nosso trabalho, da nossa vida.
I want to thank everybody to share our work, our lives.
Eu quero pedir desculpa um pouco pela limitação do idioma.
I want to apologize for my limitation with the English.
Mas dizer que, na verdade, a gente precisa ressignificar essa limitação.
And say that we need to resignify this limitation.
Porque isso não deve ser uma barreira na comunicação entre negros.
Because this shouldn't be a barrier between Black communication.
Porque quando eu olho para vocês, eu vejo um espelho.
Because when I look at each one of you, I see a mirror.
E que reflete a mim mesma.
That reflects myself.
E quando o branco tira o espelho da minha mão,
and when a white person takes the mirror off my hands,
ainda assim eu vou me ver nos olhos de todos vocês.
Still, I'm gonna see myself in each one of you eyes.
Ou nas águas do mar, do rio, que refletem também a realidade.
Or in the reflection of the water in the river or the sea.
Mas eu vou me esforçar para poder falar o idioma, porque eu acho que é importante também.
But she will work hard to speak English because she thinks it's important.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Well, I would like to specifically thank you all for allowing me to be on a platform with you on such a strong feminine platform, all this lovely water, Yemanja energy. It is really an honor to be allowed to participate in this conversation. I do see it as an honor to have been invited. So thank you so much. I've learned a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to also add, I am very grateful to Mia and Angela, and also, meeting you all virtually. Hannah, thank you for moderating this. It's been a really beautiful experience to connect with folks. I'm always very committed to the diasporic work. I actually saw Nia when I was in Bahia, and it was wonderful to connect with her there. And I definitely will be back to Bahia, God willing. However, the diasporic work is very, very important in our process to uncover the stories. And so I wanted to also shout out Everlane, because there's a lot to learn from her voice. And, that level of commitment to the diasporic story, and to, kind of deconstructing how we look at ourselves through a neo-colonialist and colonialist lens, especially being in the Western world, is super important. And so I think all of us, I can't wait to see everyone's work. But I think that all of us have that space to really continue to investigate, not just through film, but through dialogue, through connecting, and through experiences and being present. That is really a privilege, and I don't take that for granted. So I wanted to just say thank you to everyone.
So, a Iyalene, ela estava falando que, especialmente, dar um hello para você. Iyalene, desculpa. Ela falando que ela quer especialmente dar um alô para você pelo fato do que você falou, da diáspora, da ancestralidade, que é muito importante.
Ótimo, estamos conectadas e podemos aí romper essas barreiras, enfim, agora remotamente, com a tecnologia que é ancestral, a tecnologia é africana ainda.
Ela falando, she said she's very happy to connect with you all through technology that is also African.
Indeed. Well, thank you, everyone. Muito obrigada.
Thank you.
And yes, Fermi Forci, let's stay rooted and grounded and flowing, right? Appreciate all of you. And I'll be in Brazil, in Salvador in December, so we can.
Everybody has home now.
Dezembro.
Sim, todos. Pode falar.
A Hannah, ela vai estar em Salvador em dezembro. So.
Se eu estiver em Salvador, se eu estiver na Bahia, ela é bem-vinda à minha casa.
Gratidão.
E mesmo que não esteja, ela é bem-vinda à minha casa.
A minha também. Mine too.
Oh, yes. Let's connect in the real.
Everybody.
Yes.
My house is
your house. Yes.
You guys need to learn cachoeira to go to cachoeira. Very strong. Very, very strong. Crazy. Yes. Cachoeira is incredible.
Maybe a Black Femme Supremacy Film Fest in Cachoeira one day, right? But so in closing, we hope that everyone enjoyed this conversation. The Black Femme Supremacy Film Festival takes place September 5th to 11th. So please go to bfsfilmfest.com to purchase your tickets and watch more amazing films. Peace, y'all.